Microphone. Microphone check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Just a test. Today, we're gonna do some animation. Is this thing connected? Every time I feel like I start a stream, it's new. Is it streaming out to you? Is it? Need another update, or did this update ruin this too?
Meow.
Oh.
Meow. 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 Meow.
Yep. I think I'm ready to go. No camera today, Ripley. No camera today. Let's just do some animation and just get some animation done.
Meow. 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 Meow.
All right, here we are for another Tuesday. My friend Ryan has a band, and he asked about getting some animation done for a music video he's working on. And I was like, sure, I would actually like to do that up real quick on the weekend, and then I didn't. So we're gonna do as much of it as I can right now. Figure I might as well stream it. I didn't put the camera on because I am in my pajamas, and it's been a long day, and I look like I've been in my pajamas. Guess I don't need to. I already kind of started this. Basically, this little goo blob goes whoop, and then splooshes on the screen. Then I got to put the name of the band in the sploosh in the middle at some point, and then have it all like drip down the screen. Hey, rock and roll! Rock and roll, a-ho, what do you know? Rocking around the entire world doesn't rhyme with bowl. Anyway, that's your job. That's your job. I'm just here to draw things. So I put a few keyframes, and then we start, in between. Want the goo to hit, and then like really squish out and fill into the little, I don't know, tendrils of goodom. Oh, I thought you might be Ryan. Which one are you? Not that I know which of any of the people. Or wait, I assume in my head that you're one of the band, but that doesn't mean you're one of the band. That just means you file along behind. You follow Ryan on probably Instagrams. All right. Thicker, and this will kind of stretch out. Normally there's a camera, and I talk to a bunch of imaginary characters, but I'm just not super feeling it today. I just want to do some animation. And I'm also semi-experimenting with whether or not if I don't have the camera on, maybe, just maybe, I'll draw more instead of talking with my hands. But a few times already, I've looked up at the screen as if there is a camera, just looking at the text, and still gesticulated with my hands. 11 years ago, I thought it was just his fun name. Oh yeah, the band is Urethra Franklin. Hey, Space Goonie. Space Goonie 42. Subscribe to Tier 1 for 39 months. That's a lot of months to subscribe. I hope this isn't a bribe to let you out of some sort of jail. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not sure. Ryan was like, hey, you probably know one of these guys, and then sent me somebody, and my phone is being used as a remote to control the screens. I should still be able to switch back. See which one. Which one was it? Nope. It was in Facebook messages. That's where it was. Baba da boop a doo. Colin. You're Kevin. He sent me Colin. He's like, you probably know Colin. And I was like, oh, is it this Colin? Like, nope. He's a guy in the band. So anyway. It's a great name. It's a super fun name. Ryan's Instagram name is Urethra Franklin, and the band is Urethra Franklin Music. But Ryan is very much prolific and posting disgusting memes, just super disgusting memes. A lot of times they're funny. I'll have this go push down. And a lot of times, they're just super gross. CTK! Salutations. Alright, we'll deal with the other little blue shiz. Oh, I'll start doing this one. Bloop. Bloop. So, speaking of television, so true, rock and roll. So true. It's a pretty good motto. Sex sells and toilet humor closes the deal. Like, if anything, I feel like one of my first jobs, that's absolutely how I got that job. Was like, all right, you're going to draw pictures for us? Like, yeah, I'm going to draw pictures for you guys. Let's see your sketchbook. Like, what do you got in here? Like, oh, you got some, like, cool drawings and weird stuff. Some sexy drawings. And then also some just, like, weird, goofy humor about farts and poops. You're hired. Like, you'll fit in just right here. And I was there for a while. There for quite a while. Alright, I literally just said I'm not gonna do these bloops yet, but I'm doing them. I'm trying to keep this relatively simple. Miles! I was gonna, part of me was like, oh, I should just cheat this. I should just make some shapes and have them tween out into the goo blobs. But but I feel like that just usually looks so mechanical, and I'm just like, no, I wanna like actually do this animation style. Bloop, bloop. Oh, the blooping here is still gonna happen relatively quick, and then I'll just slowly just keep tracing over as it just sinks down a bit. And then at some point I have to worry about drawing letters, which I hate, but I'm gonna draw those as a mask on another layer so the name is exposed as if it's like bloop, blooped into the goop. So it's blooped into the goop, leaving like a space. Wow, yeah, I really can't draw and talk at the same time. It's not just having to talk with my hands. That's exactly, Miles, that's exactly what Ryan asked for. It was like, I'm thinking like really just a gross Nickelodeon goopiness. And I'm like, all right, no problem. And I really wanted to do it with like outlines and like just kind of a lot of extra detail. So it's just really like, just really goopy. But I'm like, it's gonna take so much time. And, you know, when I started this when I went to start this on the weekend, you know, the internet was like, oh, hey, did you think you were just going to have a fun, relaxing weekend? No, we're probably going to have a civil war on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. We'll see. I'm just like, oh, stop being so depressing, everything. All right, I should, let's actually use this for once. There's a little tool over here that lets you rotate your canvas the same way you would if you were using an animation disc or your sketchbook, and you could just rotate it. Yes, I don't do. I'm always sitting here going, I wish I could just more easily rotate this drawing tablet. And sometimes I do just pick it up and move it and just hold it in an awkward position. And this little rotation tool, it has been here for a while. Like, for years now, I think. And I just, A, keep forgetting it, and B, mostly just that, I guess. Just keep forgetting it. Now, speaking of television, as we often do, Miles mentioned Nickelodeon, so it's valid. It's a valid transition. I watched, I think every single clip. I'm using Adobe Animate. It used to be called Flash. Rock and rolla. Rock and rolla hola. That's what I'm rocking with. Just drawing pictures in a vector line that's spiffy. But yeah, I watched like every single clip that YouTube has for the Australian Would I Lie to You? And man, oh man, it's so good. It's so good. And then I only managed to watch like, I don't know, 2 or 3 clips. But because I watched that, then I was like, ooh, now I think I might be ready to go over to the Australian Taskmaster. Because I legitimately, my plan actually on Sunday, I think it was, I'm going to switch my VPN over to New Zealand, and I'm going to watch Guy Montgomery's Guy Mont Spelling Bee on whatever comes up, because I just saw on Twitter where it was just like, hey, yeah, if you're not, if you're not in New Zealand, you should still watch the Guy Montgomery's Guy Mont Spelling Bee, just VPN it. And I was just like, I have no idea. Like, I found a place that plays it, supposedly, and it just wouldn't load anything. Or I'm like, is it just me? Am I not, do I have to create an account? Do I have to pay them money? Is this, because they did have a lot of shows on this thing which made me think this is basically New Zealand Netflix. So odds are I needed the thing. So yeah, Australian Taskmaster. It seems to be the first season, but I only watched 2 clips. But one of the people from the Australian Would I Lie to You was on it. I'm still talking with my hands. And so I know drawing's happening the more I get into whatever I'm saying. So I was like, all right, I'm ready. It was like, other than that guy, I don't recognize anybody on it. But Ross Noble, is how I always pronounce his name, Ross Noble, and Lloyd from, I forget the name of the show, but Rod Gilbert had a show there where he'd act like Lloyd was his roommate and make him do weird stuff. I think it was like ask Rod Gilbert, or ask Rod Gilbert knows everything, or something like that. Anyway, those guys have been on it, but the Ross Noble, I mostly know him from QI, but he's super funny, and I went there watching one of the clips of his, supposed lies first, and it was just amazing. It was an amazing story. I don't want to ruin it, whether or not it's true or not, but it was just like, this is just awesome. But yeah, I only watched like 2 clips that popped up for Australian Taskmaster, and I'm like, yep, I'm in. Their Alex Horn, I think, is absolutely on par with the New Zealand Alex Horn, Paul Williams, and and the tasks seem super funny. But, there we go. So I guess that's what I'll be watching eventually. Or stream's over. I got some Australian Taskmaster to watch. What's that ding on my phone? Oh, that's obviously, I should have known what the ding on my phone was. You just told me. You just told me what it was. It's a link. I'll be coloring all this in, and I'll maybe add an outline to the outside of it later. But yeah, super, super awesome stuff. I don't know. Part of me is like, should I be watching more Australian shows? And I mean, I'm sure, like, yes is almost definitely the answer. All right, take this fast. Another little betweener in between these. Pop out. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. Against the screen here, so it's. I had to update my machine, and now everything takes super long to undo and save. And weirdly, normally I draw to television or the aforementioned British TV shows and New Zealand TV shows, but to keep the video from getting copyright strikes, the place where I work, Streamlabs, that makes the streaming software that I'm using, they just added a music library thing, so I can just switch between. There's a bunch of different playlists with different names. This one is the chill playlist. That's just kind of like something nice and chill in the background. and there's no like copyrights on any of it. So, well, sometimes on YouTube it still gets copyright stricken, but it at least doesn't get silenced out on Twitch when it replays. But yeah, there's just like a Streamlabs music tab on my Streamlabs desktop, and it's a lot of like gamey type stuff, but there's like fashion blog music and Fortnite style music and hip hop style music. I don't think there's any like speed metal or metal, anything very dark. Basically working. Another in between here. But if I'm listening to my own music outside of streaming, when I draw or something, it's usually just my Spotify playlist, which is a lot of Mike Doty and Flash Gordon theme song or theme track, soundtrack. Hey, I'm still here. I can still talk. I'm on screen this whole time. You can just, what, I just completely ignore me? You're not even going to mention that I'm here? I mean, this is just kind of rude. You're just gonna, just because you're not on screen, and realistically, I should be the only one that is on screen all the time, and you just be off the screen, and then, everyone is happy, then everyone is happy, because, I mean, it just makes more sense. The fact that anybody's on screen except for me seems kind of ridiculous. The more that I think about it, if we all stop and take a minute and think about it, then that's what I think.
Yeah, but also, I should be on screen more than the cat. I mean, look how muscular I am. And blue. He's not even blue or muscular.
Hey guys. It doesn't matter how blue or how muscular anybody is. We're just here to watch a gooblob become a gooblob and move. Hey, it's Bubx and missing. I can't read you guys. Maybe switch to somebody who has a voice who can read things. How about that?
All right, everybody shut up. Hey, Bubx. It's been a while. Oh, man. Sometimes, you get so busy animating, you forget about all the imaginary characters you set up to help you procrastinate from the animation. That you do want to do. You're also like, hey, come on. Like, that's why rock and roll a-hole is doing rock and roll for those ziggies, right? For the rezidge. I make a song, that song is out there, and then it just keeps paying bills, right? I mean, the odds of that, we all know, you make very little with the Spotifys and whatnot, but you build a cult following. People that are just like, yes, Urethra Franklin. It's a great name, and we enjoy the poopy humor of the songs as well. We will follow you everywhere. Let us buy your T-shirts and your compact discs just for the novelty of it. None of us have a CD player anymore. We'll still go to Spotify or wherever your music is played, your SoundCloud and whatnot. And cartoons are the same thing, somebody's out there like, if I could just invent an orange cat, then everybody just starts putting suction cups on these orange cats and putting them in the windows of their cars for the entirety of the 1980s and 90s. Hey, so why did you go on that rant again? What was that all about? You're just yelling things now? I don't know. I forget. I tried to have a rant and keep drawing at the same time. And it's just like when I try to play music, I can't really do it without, at least in my head or out loud, saying the keys that need to be pressed on my little keyboard. But I did, like, not last weekend, but the weekend before. I sat down with my little keyboard and I was like, all right, I'm going to learn how to play this little bit of a song that I found like the super easy way to play this on YouTube. So I was like, all right, this is enough to do. And I have like an idea for a little skit for it. But then I'm just like, oh, wait, I can't make words to go with this song and play it. Like, I could record it and then fake it, I guess. But I can't possibly just be like, all right, let me just play through this very simple tune without going EDG. Like, that's not what it is. But I also still plan on making that little video, so I don't want to ruin the power, the element of surprise. And yes, I'm just barely keeping track of the volumes of the goopiness, because it's goopiness. If the volume changes, it's fine. We're just having a good time. We're just having a good time, making some slime. Everything's fine. Doesn't have to be a perfect rhyme. Maybe we'll give the Gooblob a shine. In the end, the Gooblob will not be mine. Oh, Space Goonie, did you steal a copy of Mario's Odyssey from your sister yet? Oh, I'm like, I keep trying not to, like, I keep trying my best to save up the game, like, to not, like, just blow through it, because it's super, it just keeps being fun. And I'm like, well, why is this still fun? I should be bored of at least some of it by now. And, in each level, you collect moons, like little moon shards, similar in the other ones where you have to collect stars, or I forget what you were collecting. Yeah, you had to like find 3 stars, and in each 3D Worlds level, or maybe it was 4 stars, and use those to unlock the next set of things. But in like one of the first levels, I was like, all right, ooh. It's just fun. It's like it's kind of a big little open world, just running around, hee-ha, wahooing all over the place. There's like humans waiting for taxis, and they're all in like, I don't know, like 50s businessman suits. It's I don't know, all the boss battles are fun and interesting all the time, and then you just throw your hat on stuff and just become a thing. It's just like, I'm a tank, I'm a dinosaur. It only happens once, but I'm a dinosaur. But yeah, so on like the 3rd level is where you start finding these moons, and I'm like, well, I don't want to jump ahead to the next level yet. I don't want to burn through all of these levels. I don't know how many levels there are. I probably don't need that. Let's leave it smooth for now. So anyway, on this 3rd level, I was like, the little hat guy's like, hey, we did a bunch of stuff. We got more than enough moons to go to the next level. And I'm like, yeah, but let's there's still probably a bunch more. So I think I needed like, I don't know, something simple, like maybe 10 or 8 moons to go to the next level. And I'm like, I'm just going to get them all, I guess. And then I had like, I don't know, 30 some. I'm like, how many, what? This is so many. Hey, Sissy. You can't hear me. Other people can hear me, CC. So if it's because you're just watching and not, with you can't listen, that's fine. But if you're not hearing audio, then yeah, just maybe restart Twitch or something like that. Audio should be coming through. So yeah, so I eventually, after playing it forever, like I was just glued to it, just couldn't stop. Next thing I knew, it was like, oh my god, it's 11 o'clock at night. Like, I thought it was maybe 9. And I was like, maybe I'll take a break from this and just go watch some TV. And it was like, oh no, it's 11, like after 11 o'clock. Like, maybe I'll find one more moon and then go to bed. So anyway, then I realized, like, oh, I can check. There's a little, checklist to see how many moons you got out of how many. And it was like, oh, you've got, like, whatever it was, like 31 out of 69. I'm like, what? How many moons each of these levels have? And that level did have the most, but some of them are still, like, 50-some. So I'm like, oh, well, this could go on for a while. Like, these moons are just hidden everywhere like crazy. And for some reason, like, it doesn't feel like just a normal, like, one of those collectathon games where it's like, hey, just run around and pick up the things. You have to keep figuring out little puzzles. You have to keep trying to figure out ways to get places. Other places don't literally open it up until you get to them. And yes, I realized, like, oh, you're on Twitch right now. You could just play that game on stream. But I don't. But, oh yeah, totally. Like, I'm pretty much only playing it because Mario Day came, and I was like, hey, this game is cheap. Because, I mean, I'm not paying $80 for an old game. It's an old game. These Switch games, they never go to a secondhand bin unless they're terrible. And those those top tier games, or anything with a Mario in it, basically. It's always just a top shelf, prime cut piece of video game. But then I saw a video last night on YouTube of somebody playing it, just trying to like, hey, is it possible to get through this game without using your hat? And the answer is no. But he went through like most of it pretty much. And but then through that I saw like, oh, I just have like 2 levels left. I just got 2 levels left. Oh yeah. If you can't hear, CC, I just audibly told you how to fix it, which you can't hear. But CTK is textually pointing out if you try restarting, you should be able to hear. 'Cause I'm stupid. And, I don't know, just in the world of people drawing stuff, and YouTube watching, there's an episode of Game Grumps that, I believe they were playing Chinese checkers, and it was one of the few I didn't watch. I just wasn't in the mood for a game of checkers, even though it's super fun usually watching those guys play checkers. But anyway, the thumbnail for it is like a cartoon version, like the standard model drawing of Aaron that they always draw, where he's like down on his hands and knees, like pounding his fist on the ground, like, like why do I always lose at this? And then like that same day, this other thing that I do not subscribe to. I've never seen their videos before. I don't know who they are. They're playing some games. And their thumbnail for their video is just like an exact trace off of that drawing of Aaron from that day's video. I'm just like, I don't... what? I need to know why this is. So I go to the video and I'm like just skimming through. It's like they must mention something in here about this, like that they're gonna do it, but I just also didn't care. I was like, I don't want these people to end up on my "you should watch more of this" algorithm. I didn't want to actually watch the video, but then I'm like, oh, now basically watching this video, they're getting a view from me over here. I mean, not that, you know, I don't want them to get a view. Just mostly I don't want them in my algorithm. So then, of course, I couldn't leave it there. So I like read through like so many of the comments because they have, you know, thousands of comments. And finally, at least in one of the comments, it acknowledged it. I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. But one of the comments said, this video's thumbnail is so-and-so's. Okay, excellent. So I don't know if it was like, maybe it was just a gag where it's like, hey, we're friends, and I'm going to reference this, and the gag is here, Aaron's probably going to watch this, blah, blah, blah. Like, stuff like that happens all the time, but I couldn't, I'm not willing to do this much research, but, at least, yeah, just having somebody acknowledge it where it's like, okay, you probably watched this, you referenced the person's name, and, who would have made this thing, and said, like, oh, it's their villain arc, where it's just like, okay, like, at least, you know, somebody here is acknowledging that this is fully stolen. And that's all I really wanted. That's what every stream and YouTube video and tweet is about. It's about, you know, finding community in whatever that nonsense is. Like, somebody must agree with me over here. Let's put some squash and stretch on some of this, shall we? What am I doing? those ones. Oop. No, I can't see it. All right. Whoop. One more. Or just slightly. Ease out the goosh a little bit. I absolutely had a bunch of things I wanted to talk about this week. I didn't make notes, but I was like, oh, this is, aside from, I mean, it's mostly British television, but there's definitely just some, like, weird things and whatever things that are like, nah, I gotta get these off my chest. But, a bunch of my friends got laid off at work today, and I was just like, ugh. So part of me was just like, I kind of just want to go to bed. This is depressing. I hope they all, get real good jobs real fast. But it's just one of those, like, not because, like, you're terrible and you need to be fired. It's just like, hey, the fiscal numbers are like this. So as big companies go, things need to be downsized and whatnot. And I'm just like, no, but they don't, though. But they don't. But don't. So with some of them, I'm just like, well, like I can't fight it. There's nothing I can do, but I really feel like there's got to be something I could do. But I feel like some will like just have to come back because of the nature of the things. But I don't know. I don't run businesses. But yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh, it's so scary. Like, especially like just even just worrying about other people and hoping they're gonna be fine. Like, the world is already a hard game to play. Oh my god. Okay, this is I don't know. This isn't weird, but this is something that I've definitely done before. But I wandered over to the grocery store. And on the way back from the grocery store, there's kind of this little, just a very small parking lot for a store that used to be there. Like, just big enough for, like, 3 cars. But there's, a fence. There's maybe a little bit of snow still built up over there, even though most of the snow is gone. And there was this lady coming towards me. And it's just, like an L shape of fence into this parking lot, and she just, like, even though there's plenty of room, like tons of room for her to walk by, she's just like, oh no, there's a person coming, so she just kind of steps to the side and stands in this parking lot. But instead of just kind of standing off to the side and waiting, she was just like full NPC, full non-playable character mode, where she's just kind of like, should I try and walk into this fence? Should I turn a different way? Should I just act like this person isn't even here? And I'm just like I'm not being scary, but I get it. Like, I've definitely, gone full non-playable character mode and just looked like, what is that person doing over there? Like, why is he just kind of looking like, he's checking his watch. He clearly isn't checking his watch. He's just trying to wait for us to go by. Just be like everyone else. And it's just like, it's hard to be like everyone else. But then another person came by, and I'm just like, oh man. I didn't see the other person behind me. It was just like, well, why isn't she going? Like, did I break her? Oh no. Like, it was like, should I go back and be like, it's okay, do you need help or something? Because yeah, at first he went like I said, just full NPC mode, where it's just like, oh no, like maybe she was supposed to give me a mission, a quest or something. She's just stuck on some polygons or something. And I was like, oh no, there's somebody else. So she's just like, I'm not going on this part of the sidewalk unless it's 100% clear. Which, again, as a fearful child, yeah, I've done it 1,000 times. But whatever. Why did I pick a different color? Or did I? But my synopsis, yeah, as far as I know, my job is safe. But where she went, the fact that she went off to the side where this little fence area was, where it's like, in my mind, in my safety analysis of the situation, I'm just like, this is, you're going into the area where somebody would drag you to murder you, to attack you. Out on the street, like, you just, be out in the open a little bit more. So if somebody does try something, there's witnesses, there's somebody to help you. Like don't, oh my God. And I don't know. That's, again, that's how I, like, knowing, my NPC rules, the if-then statements in my head, they're like, oh, if this person is this level of scariness, then I'll go here. But it's just like, but if over here is a danger, could make it worse, then you got to take your, whatever. You take the good, you take the bad. The facts of life. The facts of life. But again, mostly it was just like, I felt bad because I'm just like, oh God, did I do this to this poor lady? Like, I promise, I'm just walking home from the grocery store with a handful of groceries. With $9,000 worth of 4 grocery items. Oh, man. It's a fun, fun world. Why did I do that? Not that fun. So anyway, yeah. It seems like, I don't know, maybe it's because I've drifted onto another topic, by the way. But it seems like because I follow a lot of just New Zealand comedians, I guess, or just I follow Guy Montgomery and he just posts a lot of stuff. People are really talking about this Guy Montgomery's Gaimon Spelling Bee. And I literally, like, there are times I'm just laying there where it's like, I don't even want to watch anything. I was like, should I see what's on YouTube or see what's on Disney Plus? And I'm like, the only thing I really want to watch, I think there's only like 6 or 7 episodes out so far. I was like, I want to watch the Guy Montgomery Spelling Bee. It's, almost every episode has somebody from the seasons of New Zealand Taskmaster that I watched. Oh, just thought of one of the things. Which I should have or meant to segue from talking about Mario Odyssey. But Space Goonie mentioned something about dreams the other day, and I just always have just these weird dreams, again, depending on on Zoom. What is? I don't know what Zoom is. Zoom is just to talk to people. Zoom is the new Skype, right? Is there a different Zoom? You have them saved on your Zune? But unless if you're watching the Zoom ones, yeah. No, I've watched all of those, and I obsessed over them. I didn't think I was going to get into them, but the TV show is like a proper video game, proper game show where it's like they're at podiums. There's a bunch of like bits and everything. It's definitely a lot more like faster. Like the Zoom one is like an hour and a half long, and I'm pretty sure the TV show is probably a half hour, 22 minutes. So it's just like better paced. PACED paced. Than a bunch of people clamoring around Zoom. Like I do, like most people's Zoom shows, I just can't watch. I mean, I talked about that a few weeks ago, where it was just like, most people just have such terrible microphones, or they're just using their laptop camera, and I'm just like, no, this is unacceptable. Excuse me. But yeah, the few nights where I did play Mario until right before going to sleep, I want to say I had Mario dreams, but no. All of my dreams, like, I still usually end up I always basically call them nightmares. Most people are just like, no, those are just dreams. Those are just regular dreams. But I'm just like, no, it's just too stressful. I can't do a job similar to my job, but then be like, oh, but where are all the pens? How do I make this work? Everything is just a weird, puzzly version of things in real life. But like a few nights in a row, I keep having these weird dreams where it's like, it's not till like long after I wake up where I'm like, oh, I know what was happening there, I guess. But I was like, what was I trying to do? Because one night I was like, oh, no, like, don't be awake now. I almost did it. I almost finished that project. But whatever it was like somehow making, I want to say, an animated video, like an animated, thing. But I was definitely trying to animate it by way of like instead of like I'm using a tablet and a pen now, I was using almost definitely a game controller of some kind. And then the cursor would have been like Mario. And I think I had to like jump, onto Mario boxes, onto question blocks and whatnot, and then drop whatever was down from them onto like the canvas, and then move those around and then kind of record. But it was all like, trying to animate with video game characters as the animation tools. And I'm just like, oh god, this is crazy. But then yeah, like the third night not in a row, but the third night where I'm like, oh, I had another like just weird dream that just felt like a video game. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I played a bunch of just obsessed over Mario right before going to sleep. I'm not sure if Discord sounds better, but like, I think, yeah, Discord is kind of designed for playing games and stuff. I just don't understand, it drives me crazy every time I do have to use Discord, because it's like, hey, join the server, now there's a server, then there's this thing over here, and what I was just like, oh, this is too many things. I'm not trying to go back to, 1994 news groups or whatever. But I do see, the upsides of it, the merits. All right. I'm gonna put a key down for it to slowly start looping down. Then I'll probably just have it droop off pretty quick, because this takes forever. It's only been about an hour. That's not bad, but I still gotta do the text. I don't want to do the text. So anyway, the real dream story is, oh yeah, no, that's not all? You want to actually tell a dream story? You know what people love to hear? Not dream stories. I've said this over and over again. Nobody wants to hear about dreams. They're imaginary nonsense that never make any sense. So what's the point of even telling the story? Because you're like, oh, but this makes sense to me because I kind of remember this from my childhood, but it doesn't actually make sense to anybody else. But anyway, let me tell this broken up nonsense story. How about, what if I do that? What if I do that? And that won't be weird at all. This one was a fairly complete thing. And again, fully realized where it came from. But basically, whatever. The non sequitur beginning of the dream is, of course, I'm in a place and I don't quite know why or how or where. But I'm basically at the end of this long road that like my mom grew up on, a bunch of my cousins lived on and stuff like that. So there's like on the right side of the road, it's water all the way down. Left side of the road, there's like forest and or homes and not really neighborhoods, mostly just homes, and then the forest goes off forever. There isn't really any subdivisions and stuff. And at the end of the road is the fish plant, and then the water goes out to the sea or whatever. So, for whatever reason, Bubs is raiding with a party of 9. Party of 9 that feels fine, raiding and exploding rainbow bombs. Name brand milk, that's an awesome name. Oh, let me just laugh about that for 5 minutes. Hello, I'm name brand milk. You don't need any more information than that. Just drink it up and just know that. It's name brand. Like, I want you to start a company now that sells something and make sure it's called name brand blank, whatever that is. I don't know who... Somebody named Shane says it's a shame the stream is starting so late. I'll have to miss it. They just sent me a message on Instagram. I don't know who that is. Don't know who that is. Possibly. Oh, you know, I know that was somebody from the Streamlabs stream from Friday. Like Shaney or something like that was their name. That's good too. Generic brand is an awesome name for something, but ooh, name brand, that sounds great. The YOLO Tato? The YOLO Tato. The YOLO Tato? As in, you only live once, you Tato. So let's go, potato around. So anyway, I'm at the beginning of this road basically, and it's just like, I have to get back to somewhere. I don't know where I live in dreams, but I know it's not at this end of the road. And it's like a 3 or 4 hour walk to get to the other end. Or at least I'll have to walk for a good hour or so before I get to where my aunt's house is. Which I believe she still lived there in this dream. And still lives there in real life. So there's this car. Like an old convertible I don't know, I'm going to say like Corvette or one of those things. I don't know anything about cars, but big old car where, I end up, I get in the car. I feel like somebody, like a lady, is just like, oh yeah, like we'll give you a ride. Just get in the car. But I can't quite remember if she was like, just kind of like stay quiet or stay hidden because the guy driving the car, he doesn't want any more people getting in the car. And because I was already kind of like down in the back in this car where the driver couldn't see me, and there was like, I want to say like a lady and another man in the car, and then just kind of like a big guy driving. And it's just like, do. I'm kind of like just nestled down, possibly on the floor, trying to stay out of view, but still also trying to see where we're going, because it's just like, I don't want to go too far. I don't want to go too far down this road. Please, I want it to be over right now. So, like, partway down the road where I'm like, oh, we're still too far from anywhere, he pulls off to the side of the road, and there's just this, like, sandy, I don't know, almost a quarry, but it goes down a little bit. It's just kind of this bit of a field, and then kind of hills around. And at the edges of those hills is some Amish people, I think, or some old men dressed like Amish people, digging holes. They're just digging sand. I'm not sure if they're collecting sand to take it somewhere, or maybe they're digging graves. I don't know. Have a great night, Bob. Have a great night. And thanks for stopping by. So I'm like, what is going on? Oh, wait, no. We didn't stop yet. We're driving. I see this area where there's some people digging, and I'm just like, what's going on there? And I look back. Rena the Mayor's here, streaming in all the streaming tears. I look back before we pull over, and the lady and the man are just straight up dead. Like, in this just ragdoll video game. Actually, no, they looked like, their heads looked like the giants from Attack on Titan. They just looked like, all the life was just out of them. Like, what just happened? Did this guy just murder these two people? I think this guy just murdered these two people. I'm like, okay, now I'm extra being quiet. So then he pulls off to the side of the road. He gets out of his car, leaves the door open, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. That guy, I think, just sliced these people's throats, and I am too squeamish to look, but I've got to go. I've got to go get help. I've got to go call some sort of authority. So I slip out of the car as he's approaching the quote-unquote Amish-ish people digging in the sand. And I managed to very quickly get up onto the road, and it's just high enough that I can see down. And when I look back, I'm like, am I imagining this? Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe this isn't as crazy as I think it is. And I just fully see him. I never see stuff like this in my dreams. He's just going up and just slicing the throats of each of just these guys one by one. And I'm like, and there's a bunch of them. They're just, again, also kind of non-playable characters-ish, where they're either continuing to shovel or just looking at him like, are you really like slicing throats over here? So I just start running, and I'm like, okay, I just have to run. And then, if I can get far enough, I can get to somebody's house where I can call for help. And I'm running. And I usually don't have a cell phone in my dreams. But for the first time in a long time, I was like, wait, why am I so obsessed with getting somewhere? Like, I could just hide in the bushes. I don't need to even try to get away, because like if I'm on the road and he starts driving again, like he's got me. But he doesn't know that I was here, so I don't know. And I'm also just afraid of 1,000 reasons just rushing through my head. Pull out my phone. Finally, I'm like, okay, I can dial my phone. It's not going to make a bunch of noise from here. He's not going to hear the person I'm talking to. I could just dial 911 and say, I'm on this street, down by that little kind of quarry, sandy place, and they'll know what it means, right? And basically, I pull my phone out. I'm looking at my phone, but then I pretty much am like just frozen with fear. Oh yeah, it's dream time. and all I can hear is just the screaming of these Amish people just being murdered. And they're just like, I'm just like, how many are there? Like, oh my God, like, what, I should I've saved them? Like, I'm a terrible person. And it was just so visceral, so just real, as all my dreams are. But again, they don't usually have violent murders in them. So I woke up from that, like about that time, and I'm like, all right, I just got to call 911. Then it's just like, I think in the dream rules were like, all right, technically you've reached a safe place or a save point, that is, using your phone, so you're allowed to wake up now. And then, yeah, just woke up, and way too often with my dreams, whether it's trying to animate something with a Mario or just something awkward, if it really affects me, I'm just like, well, I don't want to go back to sleep now, but I want to go back to sleep so bad. And I guess I'll just feel real tired and like garbage for the rest of the day. So I did, because it was just like, there's no way. Like, I can't possibly risk going back to that world. I will almost definitely just go back in there to do more. But the reason is absolutely, I was watching Voxney's live stream after the Friday Streamlabs stream. She was online, so I was like, oh, I haven't gone by Voxney's stream. Let's see what that's all about. And she was just doing some Sims for a bit, and it's like, all right, this is weird and fun and interesting. And then they were playing this horror game, which I don't know what it's called, Seven Nights of Survival or something like that. Where it's basically like, you're just people, and she's there with her boyfriend, Grey Wolf, and they're both playing within the same game, and they're kind of like building up their little shack to survive in, and collecting supplies, and you're just in kind of some post-apocalyptic or whatever world where there's just zombies popping up everywhere, and she's basically just got a hammer, and just these shambling creeps just keep popping up. And then she's just beating them to death with a hammer. There's blood spewing. It's not even like crazily animated. It's relatively cheap video game animation where it's just like, oh, it just gets hit and goes into ragdoll physics, which is like, oh, that's why my dream was like that. Like, my dream was one of these horror games. And of course, the other reason why I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I don't want to try VR. Like, A, it will so easily seep into my dreams for that day or that whole week. And B, I already get that feeling from my dreams, so I'm really nervous. Like, I've only had like 2 or 3 friends that were like, no, like, I've got VR. Like, you definitely have to come over and try it. And I'm like, yeah, one of these days I should. Like, it would be interesting to film me doing VR, I think, because definitely would be hilariously nervous doing it, and would make a good video. But it would also, yeah, infect my mind for days. Yeah, so yeah, like Space Gooney mentioned that, like basically like having the same dreams again and stuff, and like I just, yeah, mine repeat so often. And I know it's like 100% because it's like, well, that's how I think. I take all of my thoughts and redo them. I was like, oh, what about this? What about this? And I just keep rewriting all these things in my head for the best, like storytelling version or just to create ideas for, my own projects or for work or whatever. I'm always just kind of revising these little, scenarios in my head. So I think I've basically, like, trained my brain to, like, work on weird ideas in my sleep. There's only ever really been a few that I specifically wrote down and turned into a poem or something like that and put into a book. Most of them either just get completely forgotten, or I forget about them and then later on rewrite them as some sort of little short skit or something. These blobs are still moving sideways, and I didn't realize. I swear in my head, I was like, oh yeah, a little sploosh animation, like, that's gonna take easily, I don't know, 20 minutes? While already knowing in my head that I'm just like, I do want to animate in a way, though, that's going to take time. Because there is like a super quick way to do this where I just take that sploosh and just scale it up real fast. Instead of... fully animating it out frame by frame. It's just like just one motion tween, and then skew it down, then probably throw it into After Effects, add a video effect. Makes it look like it's just drooping off the page, but it's just a transition. Have a good night, Space Goonie. Did I forget this? I did. Boop, boop, boop. But regardless, for this, I'm slowly in between this, starting to goo down for a few frames, and then it'll just very quickly go blah. Again, I just explained that with my hand movements, but I did not turn on the camera. Are you happy? Are you happy now that you told your dream story? Was that good? Do you think that was a good thing? No, it does feel like it was dumb. But it's too late now. I've already told it. I filled some audio time. And just sit there silently tracing lines, slightly moving down a page. That's a good thing. Yeah, no, that's a good thing. Mindlessly blathering about nonsense is definitely better than quietly listening to some good music and watching some lines be created. No, you're totally right. Say some more nonsense. Say something else that's decidedly unpoignant in any way, shape, or form. What about that, huh? Just do that. Now you're just being mean. And you're just being mean for no reason. What am I doing here? Should I? Dare I? No. I'm just gonna animate straight ahead now. Oh, this is dangerous. This is dangerous. You shouldn't just animate straight ahead. You should put some keys down. You should key it out. Oh my god, what am I thinking?
Yeah, throw all of the caution to the wind. Yeah. No need for plans. Just rush in. Havoc staff of power and whatnot. There's no keyframes are for losers. Be powerful. Yeah, that's what I do. That's why I usually kind of win all of my battles. Yeah.
Actually, now that he says it like that, I think I'm going to agree with the keyframe thing, because that guy, never wins. That guy never wins, and he's fully just out of control. That's what I know about that guy.
Yeah, but being out of control sometimes is the greatest way to be in control, right? See the juxtaposition?
That doesn't make any sense. You're just saying wild things because you're a crazy skeleton man. That's what I know.
Crazy like a fox? Skeleton? Yeah? Simpsons reference.
All right, guys. Back to drawing stuff. I'm gonna do a keyframe. So I want the blob to blue be down. The whole chunk of the blob is gonna just start being too heavy. Gotta make sounds or else the animation can't go down on the page. And if something animates weird, you flow into a rage. This. Let's. Yeah, let's have it pull it in with it. This loops down. Oh, just making this up as I go along. Now it's getting sloppy and messy. Bloop. Alright, this is working. This is working. Alright, now I've in between myself into a corner. I think this is still working. Too even. In towards the center. This. Group it down. What did I eat today? What did I eat today? Had a fairly plain Caesar salad and croutons for lunch. There's some smoothie juice left in that. And then I went to the grocery store and got some grocery store fried chicken for supper. Ooh, that does sound good. Definitely more cheese than I should eat. Excuse me. See, I've already eaten a bunch this time, so live stream food talk isn't going to convince me to go eat a bunch of, like, after, or did I do that Friday? I think it was after the stream on Friday. Like we talked about one of the work streams. There's like a pizza place like so close. It's so close. It's just way too close. And I try not to get a pile of cheese all the time. But after the stream, we just always end up talking about cheese and food. Then I immediately go over there and I'm like, give me a pizza box full of nachos with cheese. And that's what they give me. And it's way too much. And I destroy it all in no time at all. But I've done it like more than 3 times now. So it's, I think the 4th time? Maybe it's the 3rd time. Maybe I did it more than 2 times, and on this last 3rd time, it's just like, and I'm like, yep. Nachos with just chicken and cheese. It's me. I'll eat a salad later. Hey, Captain. Are you feeling any better? Or have you just been going out there trying to do things harder and faster, even though you should be resting? Slowly fall. Loop. Oh, this is gonna take forever. I mean, it's technically almost done. You're out there. You're too busy trying to keep up on all of the streaming things that are streamed, the YouTubing and the TikToks. Come on, one of them consummate content creators. Every day, always contenting. This is looking considerably better than I thought it would. Oh, I forgot. There's a bloosh. We're all somebody's nuisance. We're all somebody's nuisance. Oh man, I was at Subway, and there's this guy there, super nice, just always just the happiest to just be alive type of guy. Where I'm like, oh, damn it, you're right. I should just be happy. you're just here, just being so happy, and I should try to absorb some of that happiness while I'm here. But the other day I went. And I usually got my headphones in, take my headphones in to order a sandwich. And on the radio, Bryan Adams' The Summer of '69 was playing, which it's just such an upbeat, feel-good song. It's like that and Footloose are they're just right there. And normally, especially at Subway, I'll still fully just bop back and forth and enjoy a song. But there was a weird, awkward moment where the people ahead of me were like, "Oh, I gotta go into the car to get my money or something," or there was something weird where their order was taking longer, so they grabbed my food, and it was like, "Oh, are you gonna take mine first?" So I pulled my wallet out when I'm like, I don't want to jump ahead, so that it wasn't really. Then the other people were ready, so I'm like, that's fine. I'm just gonna stand here and wait, no big deal. But dude behind the counter was just like fully, and again, like, and this guy has just like a super thick accent of whatever kind, speaks half decent English, but whatever, it doesn't matter. But when Summer of '69 came on, like, he was fully just like, me and some guys from school, and I'm just like, I wanna be singing this in the subway right now. And he was like looking at me because I'm just like still dancing to it. He's just like, like, you're loving this song. And I'm like, yeah, I'm loving this song. And but he's still busy like with these other people, but he's still just kind of like, we had a band and we tried real hard. And I'm like, oh my god, like, we should both be having a Subway duet right now. And again, I don't know. It's just one of those days where it's like, I just need to cheer myself up, or I'm just in a good mood where I'm like, this is all great. But I just couldn't bring myself to other than just kind of do a gentle shuffle. I'm like, I can't get fully involved in this. There's just too many people in this subway, and I already feel like I'm butting in on people. So it felt more like, you know, the moment in a musical, I guess, version of the going to the subway, where it's just like, these people are ahead of me, and I know they shouldn't mind, but I'm gonna jump ahead, and they'll know that I'm kind. I want my sub right now, and I am here and ready to pay, and they are not so ready. Perhaps they'll come back another day, and now I'm in the song, and we're having a good time, and the guy is making my sub, and this is a broken rhyme, and it just seemed like one of those where it's just like, you know, how in a musical, it would be wildly annoying if somebody just jumped into your life singing a song, which is like, no, No, I'm just trying to buy a sub right here. Don't you dare. Don't you dare close your eyes. I'm not here for a new point of view. I'll tell you no. I'll tell you where to go. Let me pay for my sub, and then I'll show you a whole new world of pain. Connected there a little bit. But anyway, when it was my turn, he was feeling like, great song. And I'm like, yeah, it's a feel-good song of every summer. It's 1,000 years old, and we're still all bopping to it. Every day's the summer of '69 over here. When you got Bryan Adams on your mind. Maybe I will have all of this slop off the screen before the end of the stream, I was just thinking. But, oh yeah, I forgot. It's super late in Ireland. It's too late. Yeah, I just thought like, wow, I'm actually going to get maybe a little further than I thought in this. And I was like, oh yeah, there's still the text. There's always text. I don't like how this looks. It's just kind of dwindling away. Then you'll fall down on your own. I feel like at animation school, this is the kind of thing I would spend forever on. Forever. Oh yeah, earlier in the stream Vox Nero was just talking about dreams and how I directly had a weird people being murdered nightmare or dream, if you will, from your watching your 7 days of survival or whatever it's called. Your weird bashing zombies in the face with a hammer game. I was like, oh yeah. That's why that night was crazy. Animation Arena is definitely one of those things that's 100% just doing it. Like, even if you don't know any of the principles or whatever, like just drawing one after the other to make it go. That's, most of the time that's really all there is to it. And then knowing, like, I'm kind of offhandedly applying some of the squash and stretch of animation and timing here, but I'm basically just drawing blobs and then putting frames in between them. 7 Days to Die, that's what it's called. Of course, it's not 7 days of survival. When I was semi-running a video or a mobile game studio, one of the games that I made on my own with just the game salad kind of build your own game maker thing while we had like real programmers. It was like, all right, I'll try and throw some game ideas together in my spare time, and if any of them seem good, then the real programmer can make them as a real game, and these can just kind of be prototypes. And one of them, and most of my games were about me and Milo half the time. Oh, why would they be about anything else? I mean, I'm here, I'm adorable, I'm ready to fight zombies if that's what the game is about. I'm ready to fight robots if it's about fighting robots. Aliens? Sure. Blob monsters? Whatever you got. I'm here, I'm ready. Just give me some ammo and some sort of fighting device, and I'm up for it. Shut up. So anyway, basically I just made sure the game was exactly 7 minutes long, and just made a bunch of like bad guy things, set up like Milo and me, with guns, and you could like collect guns to make it like double gun, and like actually it added other characters like Ripley would go off to the side and she'd have another gun, but like the first wave would be, I can't remember, I think it was like probably zombies to start, and then yeah, it was like robots and then space monsters and I can't even think, but basically all the things that you would fight in any type of video game. They just came in different waves. And if you lasted the whole 7 minutes, there was a few power-ups, but it was hard to get those to work. Because I'm not a programmer, and that game salad was awful. It was amazing, but also kind of awful a lot of the time. Maybe not go too far just yet. Yeah, to get a gate, like, it's so many hours, like, and I was doing, like, literally the simplest version of everything, and it was still, like, I was up all night, so many, just nights in a row, all the time, just trying to get these simple things. It was, like, most of it was kind of, like, built-in scripts and stuff, and just slightly had to modify them, but then I would show our programmer guy, and he'd be like, yeah, that should work. I'm like, yeah, I know. But he would show me the same thing where he's like, yeah, I'm over here doing real programming, and same deal. Like, this should work, but it just suddenly doesn't, and it's made all these other things not work. Like, well, programming is stupid then, right? Like, kind of. But it's also magic and amazing where you can literally make anything happen. Oh, wait. I just read, I wake up disgusted. It's too vulgar for even myself. But yeah, that's basically how I feel about most of my dreams, where I'm just like, ugh, I can't handle that thing that just didn't happen. Guess I'll just dwell on that all day. But that's why I couldn't. I made sure whenever I played the Man-Eater shark game, which I absolutely loved, but I'm like, ooh, that would be nice to play a little bit of that fun game before I go to sleep. And I'm like, but I'm definitely going to go to sleep very soon, so I can't take that chance. And I won't take that chance, as like, shark dreams are the scariest dreams. Sharks are already showing up way more often than I need them to. Ooh. I don't think I ever have lions. As far as like beasts go, occasionally there'll be dinosaurs, or yeah, like a lot of times there are just kind of sharks or some sort of like sea creature thing. That's like, if there's any water, there's a very good chance something's there. But yeah, it's usually people that are like, I want to say just, they're not necessarily zombies. Sometimes it's zombies, but a lot of times it's just like, they're infected with the craziness, where it's just like, we're just riding and we just want to kill everybody. And, you know, with today's news, I don't know why those ones pop into my head. But it is only in dreams, actually, CTK, that, yeah, but it's like there is something crazy going on when I'm like, you know what? I will just scream, like. Sometimes that is what wakes me up. I just scream myself out of a dream. I don't think I've ever... I can't even think of elevators being in my dreams. It's always... There's usually stairways, and the stairways fall out from below all the time. Always dealing with just lack of stairways. And just heights that I don't want to deal with. Yeah, if I'm ever in a car, there's like just an 80% chance that I'm just like... whether I'm driving or not, we're just like, this car is just going to start picking up super speed, and we're going to be driving towards some sort of cliff that hopefully goes out to the water. But either way, it always just is like way too fast, feels way too real, and it's just almost literally every time I'm in a dream car. But thankfully, I'm always just like, I usually have this moment where, again, I don't know what it's like when you really die in real life, but in dream versions with the car, at least when it hits that point, I'm like, okay, this is either a moment where I'm going to wake up as soon as this car, like, we're definitely going off the cliff. Hopefully we survive and we just hit the water, or it hits, you know, some bushes that soften the blow, and the rolling and the smashing. But there's a very good chance that as soon as we go off this cliff, once where we achieve weightlessness in the air, I'm just going to wake up and this is a dream. So I'm not going to die in a car accident today. This is fine. Now, if we go by the Doctor Strange parallel multiverse version of dreams, then it's just like, oh, no, you did. You totally did. And now we're just flipping you back over to this dream where you draw pictures all day. And you haven't been in a car accident today. Yeah, there's definitely, I think if and when I can fly, there's always rules. There's always some rules, and I usually don't. I definitely never have wings. I definitely drown a lot in dreams, or at least I can breathe underwater in most of my dreams. Actually, I'm just like, if I breathe slow enough when I'm underwater, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I can just breathe. If you just do it just right, you can just breathe the oxygen and not the water. And sometimes I wake up like, oh, geez, I gotta be careful, and hopefully I don't, like, misthink at some point and accidentally try to breathe water because it's come true so much in dreams. But as far as flying, I have to get some height first. I have to parkour up some things. I have to jump out into the air and then wildly wave my arms to get myself swimming through the air, and even then, like, it only really works if I get myself, say, past 8 or 10 feet. Anything below there, I'm just jumping. But there's a certain area where the atmosphere allows for swimming through it in the logic and the rules of my dreams. In the rules of my dreams, the rain and thunder, the wind and haze, I'm bound for better days. There's a dinosaur in that field, so jump up and go and fly on the wings of your dreams. I'm only going to stream for another 10 minutes or so anyway. Give my arm a rest. But have a great night. Hopefully your work day went by well as well. You get to go home and play all the Diablos and Apex Legends that the internet has to offer. I think I'm afraid of fire enough in real life that it manages to not usually come up in dreams. I'm sure it's usually there, but it's off to the side enough that I can usually sidestep it. Oh, always more goo. Alright. Don't need to put this on freeze anymore. Alright, some more time here for the title to be read. Just like in school, when it's like, oh, the deadline's approaching. The deadline's approaching. Whenever I'm trying to make a bunch of like debris disappear, like slowly, or like feathers fall, or whatever assignment we were doing, something explodes and the smoke dissipates. The last little bit is just like, and whoop, just disappears super fast. Whoa. Knocked over my water bottle. Because my arm gets tired. I don't want to draw it anymore, but I want it to be done. These little bits will still take a little bit of time. That. But I think I find that with virtually every project, there's always some little thing that I'm like, oh, if I could just not do this part, or if I could just, or get to a point where I'm like, it's basically done. Like I can see it all in my head. Can't I just skip ahead to it being done? Like I finally got around to doing a chibi logo character for Voxney's daughter's character that she has. That I promised I'd do 1,000 years ago. And it's just like, I was real happy with everything. I was like, ooh, like, I think I'm gonna go with the wings like this. Like, all right, yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm liking how this is working. And I had, like, every part of it drawn, like, not colored, but all of it's there. Except for the eyes, and I'm just like, oh, every time with any kind of, like, anime, chibi, manga-y type of style, I don't know what it is. I don't mentally, I don't physically have the ability to draw this, just the same type of arc that they have to the eyes and to certain things. It's just, there's something just amazing about that style that I'm like, I didn't grow up on it. I am not from that culture. And there's something just so perfect about how it's structured that I'm like, I just don't know. And I did most of it, and I was like, everything was there except for the eyes. I'm like, I'm happy with this mouth. I did change it, but I'm like, I just don't have it in me right now. I was like, I wish I could just skip, and I was tempted. I was like, I should just color it all, and then I'll do the eyes. I'm like, it's not that hard. It's just, it's just kind of ovally and oval shapes. it's real simple. Like, probably they're drawn with like circle templates. And I still was just like, all right, I'll just forget that for a bit and leave it to be the only thing I have to draw tomorrow, and then I'll color it in. And I was pretty happy with those eyes, I have to say, as well. But it's always the thing that was like every time somebody asked for like an anime, manga style, whatever, I'm always like, even I'm looking at reference, and I'm just like, I look at it, it's so simple. It's so simple. I can see how it's done. I can trace it if I want to, and it's just like, even trying to trace it is still just, it's just not the same. Yeah, I think I always just go to like just Google or whatever, and basically just find somebody who's like, all right, here's all the different ways to draw anime eyes. Like, okay. And try to reference and modify those so that they fit what I'm trying to draw. But so many times just going to Michael's, to the art store, or even the bookstore, and I'm like, oh, should I just break down and buy one of these how to draw anime and manga books? But I always like open them up and flip through them, and I'm like, there's nothing in here. There's really nothing in here that those same like Google Sheet reference images have. Like there's no like real words where it's like, then just draw a circle. Like, yeah, I know, just draw a circle. There's certain things where I can't think of what any of them are now, but that's just like when you're trying to learn to draw it, and even though you're like, oh, just look at it and draw it, it seems like, yeah, that should make sense. Just use your eyes and then draw that thing with your hands. But every once in a while, you need somebody to just give you some sort of metaphor, some sort of simile that's just like, oh, if you just think of it like this and that, then it just goes way easier. And I can't remember it now, but I remember somebody specifically, I was like, oh, you draw feet so good. Like, you're just, it seems like 3 lines, and you're like, do, there you go, perfect foot. And I'm like, how? And he's like, oh, because I was taught, if you think of it like these 3 shapes, and I still can't remember what that is. I've got a few of those in my head that both compete and work with each other to help me remember how to draw certain things. But yeah, sometimes you just need the right person to say the right thing, and then you're like, oh, I get it, of course. And sometimes I just really obsess over drawing hands, and other times I'm just like, let me just draw basically a square for the palm, and then just have a couple of fingers hanging off of it. Then I'll see somebody's, sheet of hands on Instagram or something, and I'm like, oh, I should do better. These are all very reasonable things that I should be thinking about when I draw hands. But it definitely drove me nuts sometimes in the animation studio when there was a few people that are like, oh yeah, like hands are just a thing that I just can't really handle. Like, well, these characters have hands, so you're going to be drawing them like 1,000 times a day? Because that's what animation is. You're going to have to draw them over and over again. And I always hated for certain people that were just like, they didn't like drawing hands. I didn't like how they drew hands. They were almost close enough because like the show that we were drawing is like, they were just like square hands, like just little rectangles. So it's like, you don't even have to go too crazy with these, but I do still need them to bend at the knuckles. But I got it, but I understood where they were coming from. I'm like, oh geez, like certain things would come up and it's just like, oh, I gotta animate somebody walking upstairs or a four-legged animal or something like that. And I'm just like, oh no, I barely, I don't enjoy making people with 2 legs walk around. Don't make me figure out 4. You're the one who's nonsense, Captain. You're Captain Nonsense. That's what I say there to your little quote. Did somebody say nonsense? You probably said this is nonsense. Everything's nonsense. Oh, what is this? Mary Poppins? This sounds very Mary Poppinsian. Mary Poppinsian? Mary Poppinsian? Mary Poppinsian. Mary Poppinese? None of those sound right. None of those sound right at all. The other thing I was thinking was when I was thinking of just, really cheap and cheaty animationing this, was not even fully drawing any of these frames, having it just slowly bend out of frame, and as it starts to sloop away, it just dissipates, it just fades away. Just chickapay like a tay in the wind. Like a tay in the wind. But I've long since passed the point of no return. Each of these little floops will get a little faster and longer. How many are left? There's only so many left on screen here. And then maybe tomorrow night I'll do another stream where we do the text up and down. Depending on how much work I have to get done today. I was trying a Black Widow spider and a big old web. And was working on the castle in the background, which I don't know. Sometimes just like, what am I doing? Like, buildings is one of my things. Like, I would rather draw a bunch of hands than one castle any day. There's just like buildings and cars. Just no thanks. Somebody else do those. Like in the studio, there were people that were like, ooh, if you could. I'm more of a technical animator. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. What are you talking about? And it's just like, oh, if there's any vehicles or like machinery, I'll do it and make it look super, super nice. Like it's borderline, like looks like it's been done in 3D. And they were amazing. Whereas I'm just like, if I do that, it's going to look like a cartoon from the 80s. All squishy and bendy and weird. Unless I just spend a million years just really overworking it and making myself crazy. But even if I'm just like, all right, it's not even going to move. It's just got to be a house or a building or, God forbid, a castle in the background. It's like, all right, got to make it look castle-y with little like rooftop turrets and all the little nubbins here and there. Almost there, almost clear, almost no more. Wait. No more gooshy gooey goo. It's all gonna disappear. What, Miles? What kind of nerd do you take me for? But I believe 1996. I think that's the kind of computer that my first PC. I think it was like was it 1996? An AST. I don't know if it was I don't think it was an Advantage. An AST. I think it was just AST. I don't even think it had a name beyond that. Definitely didn't have 32 megabytes of RAM. Yeah, it was definitely before 96. LGR. LGR. I feel like I should know what that is. You know what I keep watching for some reason? That's the other thing I was watching just when I just don't feel like watching anything. I watch a bunch of videos of, what's his name? Austin Evans or Evan Austin? Austin Evans? Anyway, they have a few different shows. They've got like a whole studio. There's a bunch of them there. He's relatively funny. They're kind of annoying. Like they very much anything video gamey comes up at all, they all just like, let's go! And I'm just like, oh, stop it. And like there's a few videos that I've watched where there's this one guy that modifies Mario Kart and does these weird Mario Kart challenges that would be amazing, but his editing is crazy. It just edits over everything. And then it's like anytime anything even slightly actiony happens, he's just like, let's go! In that full-on gamer way where it's like, oh, you mean it. You're not just being ironic about it. But anyway, the only things that I watch for the Austin Evans, or Evan Austin, could be wrong about both of those names, but they'll do like mystery tech, basically, where they'll order a bunch of random stuff from Wish or one of those Wish type websites where it's like you never know if it's going to be a weird bootleggy thing. Most likely it will be, or if it's just something else completely, or they'll just order like weird stuff from Amazon and see if it's like, is it worth it? Is it anything, or is it just pure garbage that somebody slapped together and put in a box? And it's just a scam. And although, like, 50% of the time I do not care and I do skip ahead where I'm like, yeah, I don't care about this keyboard, I don't care about whatever, but sometimes it's like this weird stereo, this weird fake PlayStation, some kind of weird high-tech watch thing. And I get bored of them quick. But yeah, I'll watch him, and there was one other person that was something with an L. It wasn't LGR, Lazy Game Reviews. I think it's like Linus Tech or something like that. I think I watched some of those. And then the other thing, these are not recommendations, but kind of. I do watch them. I don't hate them, but they always have something that drives me crazy. But there's this guy Ashens. He has a bunch of different channels that I think where he reviews different things. But this main one, or at least what the algorithm shows to me, is he usually reviews like just kind of toys. Sometimes it's video game stuff. It's just whatever, but same deal. Sometimes you'll get mystery boxes or like undelivered mail that you can like order from eBay and stuff, or returned, still wrapped up mystery Amazon packages and stuff like that. But what drives me nuts about it, he's like a British guy, but it just shows like his hands. And then the part that drives me crazy is he just opens the stuff like on his couch. Like he's got a real good camera focused in on this brown couch. Nothing wrong with that. But it's like, you know, a tufty couch that's got like one of those buttons or buttons down the middle of it. So it kind of like sinks in here and there. So it's just not a flat surface. And so many of the things he's trying to show really, really should be on a flat surface. And it doesn't fit in the camera sometimes. But he's still just like, this is from super old to now. So it's like, well, you're definitely not going to change and just put it on a reasonable background. You're just going to keep doing, you know, what your channel was popular for, you know, for the past 15 years, I'm sure, or more. But so often I'm just like, oh my god, you definitely have a different surface to do this on. Or put down, I don't know, a piece of wood. Like, do anything to turn this into an acceptable display area for displaying a thing, for unboxing. But again, he's like fairly like laid back about it. He doesn't get too crazy about opening things. It seems to be kind of the fun of it, but it also is like, what, like this is just an amazing thing that somebody does to me. That it's like, this is probably in some way part of your income, if not all of your income. I don't know. But like, do you just have a pile of just garbage that you've bought? Or do you take it all, or do you just throw it all in the garbage? You just take it all to Goodwill, because, you know, 90% of it is just like, you can't resell this. I mean, he takes everything out of the package, too, so it's not like... And I have to assume, yeah, exactly, Miles, like, people must love that brown sofa. Like, like, there are, you know, there's so many channels and things like that where you see, like, oh, I hate it. Like, ever since they changed that one dumb thing that's like, that doesn't matter at all. Who cares? Like, no. Still, that was part of it. And getting rid of it makes it feel like it's not the same thing. Yeah, I might go back and add some more in-betweens here and there because... video form is probably going to play a little bit faster. I can find where I just exported it to. Should be on the desktop. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Oh, yes, I forgot. I can't just can't just export a video anymore and then open that video. I have to... dimensions. Oh, how are you doing this? I have to convert it using some other program into a proper video file. Let's just reprocess that. That's not the file. Where did it go? There we go. See how the video version plays. Loop. Oh, that's still pretty much the same speed. That's not bad. Down a bit so it's all in frame. Bleh. And those are me making gross noises with my mouth. That's basically what I was going for. I feel like I put slightly more effort into it than I was going to, but also not as much. But I'm gonna do some other stuff to it as well. Once I put the text in there, I might throw some video effects on it to make it look a little more gooshy, maybe a little more shiny. Might add some secondary gloop in the middle around the text. But again, that will depend on what the text ends up looking like. But yeah. That's our Gooshy Slime animation for this week. I'm going to say probably maybe tune in Friday for the Streamlabs channel for the Streamlabs live stream art stream. And I'll do some more, I don't know, logos or emotes. Who knows? Say Fergio? Fergio is following? Followed by Fergio. I've got to go. It's feeling late and I want to go to sleep. Anyway, and then also I'll probably be back next Tuesday as well. Try my best for consistency, even though I don't think I was here last week. I was too busy, or I had a headache, I forget which. Or the world was just too heavy to deal with and try to have fun on a stream. But anyway, Tuesdays on Mr. Cartoons, Fridays on Mr. Cartoons of the Streamlabs channel, and yeah, there's a website, mrcartoons.com. There's some books and shirts and stuff there. One of these days, I'll make some more merch designs for myself. And thank you guys for hanging out for the evening and watching me draw some squishy lines over and over again until it turned into a thing. It's an animation. That's what animation is. There's 1,000 things about it as I look at it that I should change or do different, but I'm not going to. It's still doing the job that I want it to. But anyway, thanks again. Talking to everybody next week. Same time, same channel, etc. But mostly I'll be here. So, of course, you know, if you're just looking for more Milo, I'm, of course, the main star. And the most important reason for there being a stream. And again, why there was any time spent drawing a glooshy thing when I could have just been here, just saying stuff, just talking about whatever I feel like talking about. But no, let's watch some animation be made for hours on end. That's not beyond boring.
So, So boring. Yeah, end the stream. I'm done with this boring glooshiness. So gloopy and gloppy. Even though that's kind of my deal. Yeah.
I agree. Let's wrap up the stream, Ripley, and everybody have a great night. From me, mostly from me. That's what I think. Shut up. That's all the stuff. Everybody have a good night. Enjoy your own streams, and hopefully everyone has good dreams and not weird murdery nightmares.
Meow, 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 meow.
Exactly, Ripley. Exactly.